Good day, mates, and welcome to another Bowlestrek review. I personally was very excited because I was like, I kind of want to see what this guy's opinion is of the first episode featuring Shooty Gatwa. Now, I had a feeling that Bowlestrek would have a problem with Shooty Gatwa. And the first episode, The Church on Ruby Road, which premiered on Christmas Day, it was, I believe, the highest viewed drama on the BBC. It was lauded by a lot of people. A lot of people really enjoyed it. And even though everyone had problems with the episode, their enjoyment usually overshadowed these problems. But you see, above Whoville, there was a Grinch. And this Grinch sat there mumbling to himself about how there was a time where this fucking era, this fucking show, sorry, had an era which somehow met his bizarre standards. And that era is long past. And he can't specify when the show was good, but he says that at some point it went bad. So I'm kind of interested to see what his take was on this fucking episode, because I know he's going to have problems with it, because let's face it, the main character's a black man. That's probably a start on these things. Okay, so I hit spacebar to play the video, and it ended the recording. That's good. I've restarted the recording. Thanks, OBS. Very good.
Remember all those people who said Russell's return was going to save Doctor Who? I'll take your apologies now, please.
I'm not offering one.
Everybody makes mistakes, but then anybody with a brain should have seen this coming. After 3 disastrous current year specials, the quality drops even further, seeing as they no longer have David Tennant and Catherine Tate, and the sheer level of degeneracy and deviancy continues to multiply as Russell gives us a special that is beyond horrendous.
Degeneracy and deviancy. I've seen the special. I don't know what he's on about. It was in a nightclub. There was one bit in a nightclub. Maybe that's what's got him upset.
Frankly, this might even be worse than 90% of the output from the previous regime. And seeing how that played out, it's quite mind-boggling how the person that originally brought Doctor Who back into the public consciousness has seemingly lost any bit of writing talent or show writing ability he had. It's quite something to witness. This is one of the worst episodes in the history of the show, and the worst introduction of a new Doctor ever. Yep.
It's not. The worst episode I can think of is the fucking... I mean, there were worse ones than this, even if you didn't like this episode. I'm sorry, but there were. There were episodes where the main villain was fucking sleep from your eyes.
Even the woman who fell to Earth wasn't this bad. The mind virus has brought RTD to a...
I actually like this way more than A Woman Who Fell to Earth, because the goblins were way more interesting than Tim Shaw. And the fucking... Honestly, Ruby in her introductory episode is way more interesting than all of the Jodie Whittaker companions combined. For a number of reasons. She has way more character written for her. Even the characters I really liked in that era, I have to admit, they skimped out on the character a lot. In a lot of the cases. The only two where they actually had, I felt like, actually developed the characters were John Bishop and Bradley Walsh's characters. And outside of that, there was like one scene where Yasmin is kind of like, oh, yeah, I used to be a runaway, but then I turned good. And then there was Ryan on his bike, and that was about it. There wasn't much else. In fact, every time they introduced the character element, they never talked about any of the other ones, so it kind of built up to be, oh, well, you know, character elements are just things we introduce for the story's sake and nothing else.
A whole new level of suck. We start with a mystery child being dropped off by a mysterious stranger. Who is this stranger? Nobody cares! Hell,
you don't care. That's the thing, he always seems to think that he's like Stetson. He thinks that everybody shares his opinion on a fucking hive mind level, but we don't. I genuinely find this an interesting concept.
However, I'm sure there'll be many current yearisms involved. Also, a baby girl, did you say? That's a bit of something of a...
Oh god, her mother is a woman? Oh god, how woke.
of you. You're just confusing the special people that claim to be fans of the show. The baby gets abandoned. Poor baby. But at least your time
Wait,
on
what
special
did he
people.
say?
Also, a baby girl, did you say? That's a bit assumptive of you. You're just confusing the special people that claim to be fans of the show. The baby gets abandoned. Poor baby. But at least your time on the show is over as Dr. Nutty comes on screen looking sad. Sorry.
Why is he called Dr. Nutty other than his name spelled Nutci? And that's probably like, I imagine that's why he calls him Nutty, because he's like, oh, I'm not going to learn how to pronounce his real name, I'm just going to call him Nutty, because I'm a fucking not racist.
Dude, the ratings are the ratings. Just plug your ears and close your eyes and just pretend that the ratings don't exist. Because
Yeah, just pretend that you're not the third best fucking drama on the BBC that year, and you had like millions of fucking viewers.
they don't. Oh wait, I guess the baby's time on the show isn't over. Poor baby. As we find ourselves in current year, also known as hell. It seems the baby has grown into
Oh, what hell?
Princess Zumi the TikToker. I'm just assuming, oh there's that word again, that she's on TikTok because that entire generation has their brainwaves controlled by TikTok. Oh, what a world we live in. What a
Yeah, you don't have you're a very independent thinker, Bowlestrek. The thing is though, what negative things can you say just based off of the first 10 seconds of this character that you would not be able to say about Billie Piper's character? They're both young blonde women who are from London and have like a sort of, yeah, let's get shit done attitude. Like, how can you criticize this character but not also hate Rose at the same time on the same level? A lot of people did hate Rose, but I'm just saying that Bowlestrek immediately dislikes his character, but he didn't immediately dislike Rose. Why?
world indeed. Princess Zumi is trying to find her real parents. Sorry, Princess Zumi, that will have to wait because Russell thinks he can be clever. Nobody will ever learn who your parents are anyway because by the time this plot line is over, nobody will be watching this crap. It's like that saying, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, did it really make a noise? Or will it just be drowned out by the squawking of RTD's sycophants on Twitter, who will themselves probably have stopped watching by then, even though they'll continue to praise it because God help you if you run out of line with these special little people. It's hilarious to watch. Princess.
Yeah, that sounds more like you projecting, but I'm going to show some. Bowlestrek, come here. There we go. It was seen by 4.73 million people as it aired. Once again, the most watched scripted show of the day, Christmas Day. It's an impressive feat given the competitive nature of Christmas Day TV in the UK. So, what are you crying about viewing figures for? It doesn't make sense. You're like, oh, you're a sycophant if you disagree with me. How am I a sycophant for looking at the facts? The facts are 4.73 million viewers live for an episode of a TV show is not a failure, especially in this day and age where, a lot of people usually put it off for iPlayer. And bearing in mind, I don't think that accounts for iPlayer. I don't think that accounts for let's say people who waited until later. Like if you were up seeing family or whatever, you might not have been able to watch it live on TV. So that will reflect in the viewing figures that some people might have waited a day or two, or maybe even a week to finally get around to watching it, not because they don't like the show, but because they're maybe stuck in a place where they can't watch it or something like that. Or maybe they just don't have the time to watch it, or maybe they just have something that's more pressing. I don't know. But the point is, in this day and age, initial viewing figures aren't necessarily like what they were, and even then, it surpassed any and all possible expectation. But you're telling me that it's a failure, a flop. Okay.
Zumi says she was foundled. Yeah, I'm not going there. Next, a BBC worker is tripped.
Will you fuck off with trying to be funny and clever, because you're really not.
By a mischievous goblin, bringing down all the studio lights, almost killing Princess Zumi and the interview lady, because it seems that
the interview lady is Davina McCall. She's like... Never mind. You'd know this if you paid any attention. Because she's actually like a real-life celebrity who plays herself in the show. She used to host Big Brother and some other things.
Boxes are also running health and safety at the BBC these days. Great job! Then,
Yes, but I don't think health and safety accounts for fucking goblin attacks, does it? Well, this isn't goblin proof, so I guess we're gonna have to shut down the whole studio. Bowlestrek 2023.
Interview lady gets whacked in the head with a cord. Don't ask me, I'm not writing this crap.
Because the goblin threw it. Or something. The goblin basically caused this.
Next, we head to a nightclub where a person with a suspiciously low voice is on stage singing while Princess Zumi plays.
He had to point out that one of the fucking singers in the band is trans because he's totally not hateful. It took me a very long time because I didn't give too much of a shit to even notice that that character was trans. And they don't fucking... Like, it's not like the character even has, like, a character. They're just a background person. They're like, Amy Mann in, like, episodes of Buffy who just randomly appears and sings in the bar.
Plays the keyboard, and Dr. Nutty shows up all sexy-like with his fabulous hat. Then Mystery Hands unplug the
Oh, it seems like he's he's taken by our new doctor.
audio, and the person with the suspiciously low voice is embarrassed. I'd like to take this opportunity to...
I hate to say it, but most people who are performing live are embarrassed when their equipment malfunctions mid-performance. Most people. That's not unusual to this show, Bowlestrek.
Thank the goblins for unplugging the audio because that was truly horrible. Then some...
It was not horror. Like, I'm not even trying to say it was great music. I don't remember what the music even was, but the fact that I don't remember it means it was such, like, acceptable shit that it was probably just, like, went over my head. It wasn't like that awful Stormzy song that you got in the bloody Arachnids of the UK thing, where I was just like, you know what, I actually empathize with the spiders. Get away from that shit. But no, in this, it was... No. I'm sorry, but no. Hey, there's the guy from fucking... Vsauce. It's Mike from Vsauce. He's grown his beard out of it.
Some drunk lady starts screaming something about a willy, and even more embarrassment happens. Then it's the next day, and
I'm amazed you remember that, but okay.
Princess Zumi is gazing at Dr. Nutty while he's gyrating with a bunch of dudes on the dance floor while wearing his kilt, because that's appropriate viewing for children during tea time on Christmas Day. Then...
What? Okay. How is this inappropriate for children on Christmas Day? For a start, he's wearing a kilt, which is a man's outfit, right? So you can't say it's trans stuff because a kilt... He's Scottish, by the way. The actor's actually Scottish. He's wearing a kilt. It's covering up down to his knees. So you can't say that it's showing too much because there are shorts that show more than that. He's wearing a tank top, which is, well, covering up, like... How is this inappropriate, other than the fact that it features... sorry about that. I was expecting food, and then it came nearly 45 minutes before literally anyone was expecting it, so that changed things up a bit. I thought I'd be well done with this by then. But I did have a thought. I was getting it right. Where was this outrage when Little Britain was doing Christmas specials? And I know people are going to be like, it's not a kid's show. Its biggest audience metric was basically kids. Especially towards the end where it was absolute shit. There were toys for kids. There were a lot of things. And there were trans characters in Little Britain. There was naked Matt Lucas in drag running around on Christmas Day. In fact, I'm very sure there was a Christmas special at Little Britain. Yeah, there's been Christmas specials of Little Britain, and it's like, well, if you're telling me that, like, seeing LGBT representation isn't okay for kids on Christmas Day, why was this outrage for Little Britain? Why was it not okay for David Walliams to dress up as a woman and then sit in a chair and go, I'm a lady on Christmas Day? But this image, this is the problem. Matt Lucas running around dressed as a woman in the nude, running around an entire cruise ship, was okay to show children on Christmas Day because children watch that shit. There's no denying it. The vast majority of Little Britain fans when I was a kid were other kids. Because honestly, the humour at a certain point, By the time you got to like late season 2 and season 3, nobody but kids would have found that shit funny. And there were loads of dolls in pound shops of these fucking characters by the time I was like 10 and the show had run its course. As a 10-year-old kid, I owned a doll of Matt Lucas in drag. So where was the outrage? It's almost like your problem isn't the fact that these people are on the screen, it's the fact that they are no longer the joke that pisses you off. Fucking OBS made me do that thing again. Okay.
Because that's appropriate viewing for children during tea time on Christmas Day. Then Dr. Nutty saves Princess Zumi from dropping her glass and mentions something about health and safety. Yeah, better not, dude. It's a sideshow over there. Then Princess Zumi just drops her drink anyway. See, I told ya. Then Princess...
Because the goblin made her do it.
Zumi, her friends, and the suspiciously tall person with a deep voice are walking...
Oh my god, but you fuck off. Like, oh, this person's trans, guys. This person's trans. Hey guys, this person's trans. Fuck off, you fucking bigoted wanker. Like, literally nobody fucking cares but you. Literally no one. And honestly, in London, in a band, finding a trans person isn't going to be fucking out there as an idea. Just saying.
Down the street in London, something I've heard you really don't want to do these days, so they jump into a taxi. Then Frosty almost falls on the taxi. Oh no! But luckily, Dr. Nutty took a break from his gyrating to save the day. Then a white male police officer shows up for the sole reason of being portrayed as a buffoon. Then we find out he's
not portrayed as a buffoon, he just doesn't know what's going on.
Straight, and is getting married to a woman, because Dr. Nutty's new... What the hell is that? Sonic screwdriver just pinged. That's 3...
I mean, honestly, I don't really mind the design of his new screwdriver. I think it's actually kind of a cool like idea to sort of change it up a lot. And it has some cool details on it, like it's got a Rwandan proverb written in Gallifreyan on it and stuff like that. So, and as far as settings go, it makes sense for that one to have like more stuff going for it at this point.
Checks against you, dude. Then we're introduced to Mystery Lady. Who is that?
That scene actually was suggested by Disney because they were saying that the Doctor doesn't appear soon enough in the episode. And I agree, without this scene, the Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa would not have appeared in his first episode for the first like 5 minutes. And that probably wouldn't have been ideal. So I do actually think this was a decent addition suggested by Disney. And I also thought this scene of Ncuti, I like how he's got this fucking screenshot of him just mid-word, so it looks like he's cross. Like, fuck off, bitch. But no, like, it's what children do. It really is. But anyway, like, this scene I quite liked because it actually had Paul McGann vibes to it, where he's actually like, he's very observant, and he's like, yeah, I've noticed you've got like a diamond ring on you because my device picked it up because it picks up the diamond. And I know for a fact that you bought it around this time of year because you're planning to propose to someone and you're so eager to propose to someone they can't not say yes. And it was quite an adorable scene, quite in character, and also quite a good introduction to the character that he still has this wholesome sort of love and care for other people. Because we don't know that much about his character at this point in the episode. Bearing in mind, I think this is like 5 minutes in. So, yeah, I think as a first interaction with a character in the world, this is actually quite a nice scene. And it does have vibes of other Doctors to make us think, oh yeah, we're definitely in safe hands with this guy. He definitely knows what he's doing. Also, the exchange with him and like this policeman is actually quite funny, where he's like, what's your name? The Doctor. What's your occupation? Not a doctor. Current residence, that box over there. And it's like, it's quite funny because like the guy's confused as shit that this guy who jumps out of a fallen snowman is just like walking away towards a box.
Screwdriver just pinged. That's 3 checks against you, dude. Then we're introduced to Mystery Lady. Who is this? I don't care. Mystery Lady is not happy about...
He doesn't care, so I guess, you know, we're not allowed to care either, as dictated by the rules of the hive mind.
The police box blocking her view. Yeah, we're not happy to associate the police box with the events of the last 6 years, but it is what it is, I guess. It's Princess Zumi's birthday. Well, happy birthday! This episode...
Why is he so angry at plot points? Like, he's not saying, like, okay, I don't like this because blah, blah. He's like, I'm angry because it's her birthday. Rah! And it's like, what? What are you on about, you fucking dump truck of a human?
Still sucks! Then the goblin pokes a hole in her shopping bag, and hilarity ensues. Princess Zumi's foster mother is.
But, like, that's. Again, that's part of the plot that the goblins are making her have bad luck because of plot reasons.
Going to be looking after a motherless baby as RTD continues to set up his rather disturbing plot. Foster mom tells Princess Zumi not to lose the baby.
Well, if the plot's disturbing and it's clearly meant to be on some level, I think he's achieved what he's aimed to do, don't you? I mean,
Oh, what clear foreshadowing there, Russell. Next, Princess Zumi tells Zumi not to lose the baby. Oh, what clear foreshadowing there, Russell.
you're talking like he's the only person who's ever done that. Like,
Next, Princess Zumi is sad because interview lady has given up on finding her mystery box parents after only like 3 days of looking. Well, that's not even trying. And it seems.
well, I'm assuming that they have a quite vast database. So if they can't find it in 3 days, chances are they're not going to find it. Like, that's the point. The show is meant to be, oh, we find your parents and we find it, but like, they've got a database of every bit of DNA on the planet and they can't find her parents. So, yeah. This actually is an intriguing thing in a science fiction show because it could imply that her parents are of non terrestrial DNA or that they're like time travelers or something like that, which is where the intrigue comes from, Bowlestrek. You'd know this if you weren't a buffoon.
Interview lady is having bad luck. This state of the show is not bad luck. It did it to itself over the course of several years. Interview lady thinks.
What you want about the state of the show? Twitter has literally been exploding with people having jokes and takes and all sorts of stuff. People love the show again in a way I've not seen since. Honestly, I'd say late David Tennant. No joke. I would say that I have not seen this much love for the show since late David Tennant. And that's not me being hyperbolic or anything. I mean it. I have not seen this many people thoroughly enjoy a Doctor Who episode since The End of Time Part 2.
It was all Princess Zumi's fault. Nah, she's an innocent in all of this. Then, goblins show up to kidnap the motherless baby to give us all a dose of Christmas cheer. Also, foster mom is going to be really mad.
It's called stakes. You have them in stories. You know this if you knew shit.
Mad at you, Princess Zumi, as Princess Zumi gets hissed at and is not impressed. Then Princess Zumi gets
I mean, that's pretty funny where goblins from outer space just appear and hiss and you're like, are you just hissing at me?
carried away by a ladder as Dr. Nutty arrives with his 13th Doctor inspired costume because they aren't even trying to bring the fans back now. To save the day with his
13th inspired costume. I don't really see it, but okay.
magic gloves as he brings back the Mavity joke because that's never going to get old. And
I mean, it's partly a joke, but I got a feeling it's probably going to amount to be some sort of like other thing. But even if it's not, it's still funny. The fact that they went back in time and changed a word because the guy who invented the word didn't hear the other person say the word properly and misheard gravity as mavity. And Isaac Newton's like, mavity? What a brilliant word. And then from that point onwards, it's mavity. And it's kind of funny as well that David Tennant actually says mavity. Well, he says gravity and then it's corrected. And then he's like, oh yeah, because he's like the only person left who remembers that the word's changed. And even he's been susceptible to the long-term, like, time change.
it seems the checkbox effects department hasn't mastered 1990 CGI. Keep trying.
That's not even bad CGI. The CGI in this was fine. Like, it looked fine. I didn't see anything remotely. That is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. The textures are all fine. It looks like it should. It doesn't look like, say, some of the late Russell T Davis era CGI rockets where they look a bit video gamey. This looks like something that you'd probably get in a movie at the moment. For television CGI, it's fine.
You'll get there never. Then Oh, Jesus Christ. The goblins are doing some timey-wimey bad luck nonsense. Yeah, whatever. Then
What do you mean, oh Jesus Christ? Are you trying to say the goblins are bad? Because, like, they look like goblins to me. If I sent a picture of them to someone on, like, Steam who doesn't watch the show and said, yo, what is this? What are these things? What would you call them? And they call them goblins. It wouldn't surprise me. They look like goblins. They look like D&D goblins, basically, but, like, with a slight twist to make them look a bit more alien-like. But apart from that, they're basically goblins. I like this goblin as well. His little hat and his thing. He looks like a 18th century dot worker. And this guy's like, I love like they all have their own individual outfit. It's that must have taken time to put together, and it was definitely worth it. You can also tell as well, like some of these guys are like puppets and some are CGI. I think the front guys are all puppets and these guys are CGI, but they work really well.
the goblins are doing some timey-wimey bad luck nonsense. Yeah, whatever. Then
Whatever.
we get a musical number about eating babies.
It's pretty good. It fucking slaps. The song about eating a baby is fucking great.
Yeah, this is what the show has degenerated into.
Oh yeah, the evil goblins want to eat a baby. You're getting mad about the things that the villains are doing. You know better than fucking Phil and was it Gary on fucking Deception of a Generation? Just sat there getting mad because Skeletor's evil.
Musical number about eating babies on Christmas Day. It seems the motherless baby is lunch. Good lord! Then we're introduced.
Like, why is he so outraged at the fact that there's a fucking villain that wants to eat a baby in a show? Like, that's what goblins do. They eat babies and shit. They're evil.
To the King Goblin, and I'm convinced this must be a hoax. There's no way they're serious. Then Dr.
What do you mean there's no way they're serious? He looks like a king goblin. I mean, look at him. He's fucking big tubby bastard with like a huge complex thing. I'm amazed he didn't pick up on the line, the little goblin with the eye patch. Like, he can eat me. He makes me swoon. But yeah, there's a goblin king. And that's pretty impressive for a goblin king. I mean, I don't know what to expect from a goblin king, but I'm not disappointed.
King Goblin, and I'm convinced this must be a hoax. There's no way they're serious. Then Dr. Nutty and Princess Zumi save the motherless baby, and, as if the heights of what the hell haven't already been reached, Dr. Nutty and Princess Zumi have a dancing and singing number as the collective jaws of everyone who thought Russell was going to save Doctor Who drop once again to the floor. Then Dr.
If I can point out something kind of important, context-wise, one of the reasons why the singing scene works is because it's set on it's set on this goblin ship. Now, the first thing as well is that the singing number is, in the plot, meant to distract the goblins whilst the Doctor fucks around with their ropes. Because the ropes are how the ship functions. You pull on ropes and things happen because it's magical fairy tale shit. But the reason why they're so able to sing well on this ship is because it's basically powered by luck and coincidence. Their form of physics are luck. It's like a D&D dice roll universe where every single thing is based on luck and chance and like coincidence and everything else that comes with it. So, the fact that they can sing every note perfectly with a perfect rhyme is down to the magic of the coincidence of the ship, which I think is actually very good fucking writing, and I'm not surprised it went over Bowlestrek's head.
Of everyone who thought Russell was going to save Doctor Who drop once again to the floor. Then Dr. Nutty and
I hate to say it, if you think that one person's script before you've even seen it is going to save a show, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but
Princess Zumi escape as a record number of viewers suddenly change the channel as we hear a collective "to hell with this." Well,
you have no data to prove this. You're just saying it because you want it to be true.
props to you for lasting as long as you did, but don't say I didn't warn you. Then Dr. Nutty hits on Princess Zumi's foster grandmother. Yeah, whatever. Then foster mother comes.
Yeah, whatever. Why would you bring something up if you got nothing to say about it? You're just like, oh yeah, this grandmother exists. Yeah, whatever. Like, fuck off. You're bad at reviews. You are really bad at reviews. You're terrible at them. I wouldn't mind. You've been doing this for years.
home, and Princess Zumi is mad because her birthday has been a disaster. Well, blame the people behind this mess. Then Russell takes the
Well, it's not a meta show, so you wouldn't. Idiot.
time to remind us once again that Chibs the Idiot's timeless child nightmare has been canonized. Man, oh man, the hatred this dude has for the real, now former fans is really something to behold.
The real now former fans who literally watch it just to complain. God, why don't you love us? Oh, what's this? The grandma exists? I'm so angry about that. Like, Bowlestrek is just like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what Bowlestrek wants from the show. He never says this could be made better if these characters were this, or this could be made better if the goblins did this. I can think of things I'd say would improve this episode. Like, for example, honestly, the goblins, when they appear for like a few minutes and then you never see them again throughout the rest of the episode. We're not really told anything about the goblins. We're not really given an insight into their world or anything about them. We're not given. We're not even told what their motivation really is, other than the fact that they want to eat a baby, which I guess, is motivation, but it's not a strong motivation. And the goblins are a kind of cool, interesting thing, which honestly get about a total of like 5 minutes of screen time. And that's about it. The rest is just, oh yeah, well, Ruby Sunday is having a birthday. Yeah. And that's basically like, okay. But as far as like the episode goes, it's perfectly fine. I did not walk away disappointed. I don't think many people did.
Then the walls crack. Well, that's going to be an expensive repair. And Princess Zumi deletes herself from the story. Good move. I would too. It seems she never existed in this universe.
I fucking wish you would at this point, because you're a fucking whiny bitch who's never going to be happy until you do delete yourself from the story. We just end up in the Bowlestrek-less universe where he just doesn't exist. And literally nothing's changed.
You are so lucky. It seems the goblins went back in time or some crap and kidnapped and feasted on Princess Zumi when she was a baby. Dear God! Russell, did you even read this back when you were writing it? The degenerate, deviant losers you cater to are not representative of normal people. I mean...
So, he thinks he's trying to appeal to people with cannibal fetishes? No, they're goblins. They're fairy tale goblins that eat children. Again, where was the outrage when Hansel and Gretel came out? Where was the fucking outrage when you had all these fucking fairy tales being depicted for decades? When you had like Shrek going on about how he ate people, where was the outrage then? It's almost like you just hate this because of the black man as the main character, and you're just trying to find reasons that aren't that to get mad at, which is basically just anything that isn't that. And I'm not the biggest fan of, like, oh yeah, he must be racist because he hates, but no, like, this is where he's most hateful, where it's like, oh yeah, look, this episode's so bad, guys. It's bad. Everything's bad. He took 3 steps in this direction. It's bad. And we all know why he's so pissed off, why the hatred's bubbling up. Because honestly, the dude has basically made reviews that are just Nazi propaganda rewritten into a review at this point. With his fucking Demons of the Punjab review, which I believe has been deleted at this point. But if you're trying to tell me that, oh, well, it's not about that, well, what is it that he doesn't like? He hasn't said what he actually doesn't like. All he can do is just rant and cry about nothing.
At least somewhere in that smug head of yours, you must realize that. But you don't care. It's not your money, is it? Also, it seems foster mother is a bit of a jerk without Princess Zumi and only fosters kids when she needs the money. Well, how delightful. Dr. Nutty does not approve, and you are almost in line for a 13th Doctor style lecture, but only certain people get those, so I think you'll be fine. Next, Dr. Nutty travels back in...
That scene was actually kind of nice because it was kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, but in a brief moment. And I felt like it actually worked really well. Like how a single life can impact so many people around it. It's wonderful. I actually like that scene. I think it worked really well, especially in a time travel show. It works even better. Like, I don't get what your hatred is towards that scene, mainly because you haven't explained. You don't explain shit, you just get mad at nothing.
Time to when Princess Zumi was an infant and saves the day and baby Princess Zumi from the drooling goblins with his magic gloves and the terrible CGI ship with the singing goblins.
He's saying it's terrible, but like, I'm not insane. This is fine. Like, feel free to correct me if you're seeing like amazing bulk or something on screen right now. But I'm seeing a decently fine fucking wooden pirate ship thing that flies. Like that is what it is. That's what it's meant to be. It has like Rayman 2 vibes. Why is this bad? If it's bad, feel free to say, but what part of the CGI doesn't work? Is it the texture? Is it its relationship with the environment? What? Just saying bad CGI doesn't cut it. Like, for example, Paul 2009 has great CGI because the character has some great texture work on it for the time, and even today it would still be pretty decent. And he interacts with everything quite well. I don't believe that there is a real alien there because honestly, he is purely CGI. But at the same time, I feel like as far as the CGI goes overall, it's quite good. I was able to say there what I liked about the CGI based on a film I haven't seen in like 14 years. Meanwhile, you're sat here like, oh, well, CGI is bad.
Goblins disappears. Then, the back to all grown up Princess Zumi takes off with Dr. Nutty for a series of surely to be badly written, politically correct adventures designed to appeal to a group of low-life degenerates and deviants who probably won't even watch. They'll just claim to because, as I said, you don't want to piss off the hive mind. With an ever-shrinking
The hive mind. Tell me more about that, mister. I don't care. You've basically written off the entire series based on basically nothing. Actually, no, you've written it off based on the poster. The second they said Shooty Gatwa was the Doctor, you were angry. And we can't deny that because if you go onto Bowlestrek's channel, yeah, so apparently I do remember him doing it, but I don't remember like where exactly he made that video, but it would have been around like here around the time the Flux like stuff was going on. Like towards the end of the Flux when they announced that there was going to be a Shooty Gatwa Doctor. But like, you see, he hated Wild Blue Yonder apparently. Wild Blue Yonder is classic Doctor Who, everything that he liked. So like, why did he have a problem with Wild Blue Yonder? I kind of like to know, but I'll save that for another time, I guess. Not necessarily even to make a video on it, just to say. But Wild Blue Yonder was Catherine Tate and David Tennant running around a spaceship. It was literally a 2009 episode. So how he had a problem with it, I don't know. A 2008 episode, sorry.
ratings number. It's going to be comedy gold.
Ratings number. Oh, no. His narrative's falling apart.
Watching this garbage burn itself to the ground. Oh yeah, and we finish with Mystery Lady. Who is it? Nobody cares! What a glorious
Nobody cares. That's why there's theories on Twitter already and shit, because nobody cares.
train wreck this episode was. And that's it for today. Follow me on former Twitter. And
That's a great summary. Like, that's a great conclusion. It's a train wreck. Follow me for more content. No, I don't believe I will.
until next time, suck it.
So that was Bowlestrek, a fully grown man, trying to review a children's show ineptly. I don't understand. He said he wasn't going to watch it anymore, but he's still watching it. I don't quite understand, but okay. You see, when I say I'm not going to watch things or do things a lot of the time, not every time. Sometimes things change. Sometimes the mood takes me. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I've got to check this out for myself. But I'm sorry, he is the equivalent of a 14-year-old girl constantly threatening to close her like Facebook account. I'm gonna stop watching. I'm gonna stop watching. I'm gonna stop. Dude, just stop. The show isn't for you, clearly. It probably never was, given you're a fucking fascist. Like, dude, like, this show isn't for you. I'm sorry, but it's just not for you. There's just. And I'm not even saying that because of any changes that have been made at any point. This show was never for you, it seems. Go watch some Nazi documentaries and cry about how your side didn't win or something.
Professor Curious is okay.